So, Tsunami. I think most of us know what this level is. Now, this level is an upcoming top 1 that looks extremely difficult, but is also probably the best decorated top 1 that we've gotten in quite a while. Which raises a question: will Tsunami ever get rated? Now, we all know this is the Tidal Wave sequel, and that raises some questions, because we know how long it took Tidal Wave to get rated. And I feel like that would be an unfortunate case for this level. So, in this video, I'm going to be going over if it were to get rated, what rate would it get, who should beat the level for it to get a higher rate chance, and also just some personal thoughts on it, like placement on the demon list and all that. So, let's just get into this video. So, right off the bat, I do want to say Tsunami, best top 1 out there. Absolutely. And you might be saying, oh, but there's another top 1. My general opinion, I think this is the best top 1. Not only because A, it's by one person, and let's just get that out of the way. One person made this level. You're telling me one person made this level? This looks like a mega collab. It's insane to think that one person made this level and that the level isn't even finished yet. I would assume a part like this is finished, because just look at how detailed it is. There's so many little things. I bet if I even went into quarter speed, I wouldn't be able to even catch all of them. Then there's this. Do you see how beautiful this looks? I don't know how OniLink managed to do it. They are the best creator of all time. Like, up there with Kuluk, CD Music, people like that. So, yeah. Good job to you. Good job. Okay, so now let's get on to who I think should verify this level. Okay, so here's the thing. I think RobTop has an anger against Zoink for some reason, because every single time he verifies a level, it takes months on end for it to get rated. It happened with Tidal Wave, it happened with Thinking Space 2. It's probably going to happen with Exasperation, and if he verifies the level, it's probably going to happen with this. So, who do I think should verify this level? I have a couple picks in mind that I feel like should beat it. So my number 1 pick is a smaller known player, but who is also gaining a bit of traction, named Netermind. You see, Netermind just recently beat Tidal Wave. Now look, I know that isn't as big as an achievement as it would have been. I believe it's either the 3rd or 4th hardest level right now, but that is still an insane achievement. Beating even a level in the top 150 is an insane achievement, much less from a player that barely has any traction. I've known about Netermind for probably almost a year and a half now, and this guy is good for how small known he is. He's gotten biggerly known for specifically beating Tidal Wave, but he's a good player and has been for quite a while now. So I feel like if Netermind was up to the challenge of beating this level, or not this level, Tsunami, he should go ahead and do it. Because clearly he has some experience with Tidal Wave. Because, well, he beat it. I think the only reason, there are actually like 2 main reasons why I feel like there might be possibly a reason why he shouldn't beat this level, is because A, in the description of his Tidal Wave completion, it said 40 out of 100 enjoyment. So, we already know Geometry Dash is a very mentally, I guess, infuriating game. But with levels like this, it's hundreds, even thousands of magnitudes harder than something like Deadlocked. Because let's be honest, you could beat Deadlocked after, I don't know, 5-ish hours of playtime. Yeah, no, this guy spent 54 hours of playtime on a level. That is a lot of time for a singular Geometry Dash level, if you didn't know. And that was going to be my second point, but I just kind of dragged into it. So, yeah, but if Netermind was up to the challenge, he definitely should. Now, let's get on to my next pick, which I think you guys might already know. The next pick is W Popoff. This guy is insanely good. In fact, just over a week ago, he beat Thinking Space 2, which is an insane completion. Congrats to him for beating the top 1 right now. So yeah, good job for him. But I feel like he could also have a chance of beating this level, because with the Amethyst thing, that level took a week to get rated, and that's because he beat it. With Thinking Space 2, as mentioned before, that level took so long to get rated because it was a Zoink completion. I feel like with W Pop on the other hand, he would make the level to have a better chance of getting rated, but also has a better chance of beating it overall due to his pure skill. Now look, I'm not downplaying Netermind or anyone, I'm not downplaying any good player. These guys are way better than me. I can barely get a good run on deadlocks. I can barely get to 70% every now and then. So I'm not downplaying anyone here, but it is very obvious W Pop has the upper hand in skill. He has beaten Amethyst, Thinking Space 2, Tidal Wave, most of the top 10 in fact. So it's safe to say if W Pop were to verify this level, it would have a pretty good chance of getting rated. Now I do have one more person to talk about. My last pick as to the person to possibly verify Tsunami. And his name is Tiago. At least that's how I think you pronounce it. Now look, this guy's pretty good. He's beaten Tidal Wave, and he's beaten a couple other very, very hard levels such as Virtus, Acheron, and he even verified Andromeda, which is a top 10 level. It's not an easy thing to beat this many top 10 levels. And he's also a lesser known player, but thank goodness he's getting more known because he's such a good player. Would I like to see another big verification from this guy? Absolutely. Now, do I think this guy has a chance of beating Tsunami? Absolutely. I think everyone that I've listed has a chance at beating Tsunami. If they didn't, then why would I even list them? Now, I do think that Tiago and Netermind are basically at the same skill level. They could both have a good chance of beating this level. If Tsunami is an open verification and these both two go for it, they can have an equal chance of beating the level, which I would love to see them both beat the next top 1 at the same time or at around the same time. Now, on to my next point. If Tsunami were to get rated, what would it get? So, this is off of speculation, as for not all the decoration is finished in this level. I'm going to be going off the parts that are finished in percent categories. So, we're going to be doing, for instance, 0 to 10, 0 to blah blah blah, 0 to blah, blah, blah. Or, I guess we could also just go off of sections, which I think would be a better. So, the beginning of the level. This sets the groundwork for the level and looks amazing. I don't know how OniLink did it. This part looks amazing. Now, the second part to the beginning, this kind of night-looking part, it is a bit empty because it doesn't have any ground or an air deco yet. But, I mean, hey, it still looks good. So, and then it still has layout parts once you get more into the first part. But I do want to look at a slower speed of it to really get some of those details in that people won't notice. So, there is so much going on this level. There's so many little spikes that you wouldn't really see that much. There's so many immaculate designs inside of the structures. And then you also have to mention, everything else happening. The pulses, even though they're small, they do a lot to the level. And there's also the orb deco, which, amazing. Don't know how he pulled that off. So, a lot going on that is very hard to see. By the way, sorry for my dog barking. The dogs happen. So, anyways, this next part. Again, all this looks amazing. There's so many little things happening in the designs. And I just actually noticed this. None of the designs are the exact same. Well, there are some designs that are the same. Most of them aren't. That's insane amount of dedication to put different patterns in every single one of these, yet still make them look good, but not too outlandish. Bravo to you, Onilink. Keep creating, dude. So, that's really all I wanted to mention for the beginning part of this level before the drop, because it's a good part. It sets the groundwork for the level in a really good way, has amazing decoration. I don't know how the gameplay is because I'm not good enough to do it, but yeah, I'm excited to see how this full part looks in the near future, hopefully. If it's not in the near future, still, I'm excited to see how it looks. But let's get on with the drop of the level. So, right off the bat, very, very tidal wave heavy when it comes to structuring. Now, I do want to bring this up. I'm pretty sure tidal wave, when it comes to like its wave structuring, is like a slaughterhouse clone in a way, but that's fine. It looks good anyway. So, the decoration for this part, that's the problem. There's not much of it, and when it is there, it's hard to see because it's so small, like the little spikes. But then there's this part. My goodness, this looks good. I have no words. The colors look amazing. It's so vibrant, lively. I don't even know how someone managed to create something this good. If Tsunami isn't up there in like the top like 20 best geometry dash levels of all time, then that's just rigged. So back to 0.5 speed. There isn't much for this first part of the level, or I should say first part of the drop. The spike designs look pretty cool. That's something you probably would have noticed. Designs in the structures, also pretty cool. I like how the colors kind of change. It goes from like a yellow to like a cyan kind of look in the structures. It looks nice. Very good effect. There's also these like spike things that look all curved in like the top bits of the screen and the bottom bits. Those are details that you would notice, but you wouldn't like go in depth to if you're looking into this level. So yeah, the first part of this level, it's definitely unfinished and it shows, but it still looks pretty decent for the parts that are finished. The middle section with all like the miscellaneous gameplay, like the ball and all that, it only has really spikes decorated, so I can't say much about it. The spikes look pretty cool, so that's about it. But there's nothing really here to be, oh my goodness, it looks so good and amazing, I might just die. But then there's the second part of the drop. My goodness, is this part good? How did someone make this? I keep saying that, but I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. First of all, those little barnacles at like the bottom of the screen are like the coral, I guess, look amazing. Second, the effects coming off of the saw blades look amazing. Third, the kind of like rainbow spike pillar thingies in the background, those look pretty cool. The designs inside of the structures are so pretty and insane. I don't even know how. I have no words. The portal design looks amazing. Then the ground, or I guess I should say the foreground, looks amazing. Like the part that is in front of you, in front of like the whole level, looks so good. Then there's the background, which I get it. It looks empty when you're not looking close at it, but it actually has a decent amount going on. It has like a little animation. It has some bubbles in it. So for a background, I'll give it to Onilink. It looks pretty good, especially considering the tidal wave backgrounds were pretty, how do I say this, non-moving, not really that lively. So big step up. I also think Onilink has learned some stuff from all that, considering gale force, volcanic gleam, all that stuff has happened. So yeah, for sure Onilink has learned some stuff about decorating. So good thing. I think it really benefited this level in a better way. So then there's this little middle section. Pretty chill. There's not too many little details that I'll need to go over. There's the bubbles, there's the designs inside there. Then there's this. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Now, I'm already looking at the smaller details, all the water, the saw designs, the designs inside of the structures. They looked amazing. Now then, there's just this part, which is layout. And if I'm not mistaken, most of this level, I'm pretty sure, is layout after this. I haven't watched the full level, actually. I know, boo me in the comments, whatever. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure the rest of the level mostly is layout. So, more than likely, It'll probably end up being really well decorated though, because you gotta consider that middle part. If Oniling wants to keep consistent deco and make sure it doesn't fall off in any parts, he's gonna have to keep it looking like that the entire time for it to get a good rating. So yeah, I'm pretty sure just the rest of it is a layout though. I'll double check real quick. Yeah, I just scanned through like the rest, like the minute long of the video. It's just a layout. So what do I think this will get rated? So if Zoink were to beat it, rate, maybe future, possibly epic, very small % chance. None for legendary or mythic though, because it's a Zoink verification and you know how RobTop is. If it's either netermind, thunder, or W pop-off, very big chance for epic, a pretty big chance still for legendary, and a decently big chance for mythic. Now, I'm being pretty open-minded here, honestly, so I know harder levels are held up to a different standard of rates, because you'll look at a 5-star and think, oh, okay, it looks kind of good. If you think of that as an extreme demon, however, yeah, you can get out of here. The door is right there. So, yeah, extreme demons are held to a very, very different deco standard. So, for stuff like this, it'll probably be more to the part of legendary when it comes to its rating than mythic, but I'm not saying that it won't get mythic. There's like, no way, this isn't a good enough level. It very much is, in fact. I think it probably should get mythic, but we're gonna have to go off the deco standards for most harder levels. Sorry that I said it there. But yeah, I definitely feel like this will get legendary more than likely. Hopefully mythic. If it gets epic, I'm fine with that, I guess, but anything below that, you rob the level so hard. Now, to my last point, where do I think this level will stand in the demon list? So, considering not much humongous progress has been made on this level due to it not even being complete yet, I wouldn't be surprised to see this level getting complete mid to late 2026, so next year, and being verified around the same time, 2027. So, by around that time, levels like Grief, Eternus, Cosmos Unleashed, and Crash Grab, anyways, stuff like that, all those will more than likely be verified, and who knows, even stuff like Angelicide may be verified. And so that raises the question, who is gonna buff the level to make sure that it's still even in the demon list at this point? Because you're gonna have to think about this. 2027, not only is there gonna be a ton of new top 1s, there's also just gonna be in general a lot of new top like 100 levels in general. So I bet you by like 2027, Slaughterhouse may not even be in the top 50. So that begs the question, do I think that at its current stage, would it place number 1 when it's verified? No. It'll for sure more than likely place at top 10 at its current unnerfed state, but it's gonna need to be buffed, honestly. If it wants to be the big top 1 everyone's been waiting for, it needs to be buffed. I know for sure it's gonna place in the demon list somewhere in the top 10, but I don't think it's gonna place anything higher than the top 5, honestly. It might place top 5, but more than likely top 6. So, yeah. It definitely needs to be buffed if it wants to be the big top 1 everyone's been waiting for. Because by that time, all the hype's gonna be built up for like 2 years. So, it needs to be buffed for sure. So, do I think the level's gonna be verified though? Yes, obviously. Do I think the level's gonna be given a good rate? Depends on the verifier. We've already settled that. So, these are just speculations. Don't hate in the comments if any of this is wrong in 2 years, because this is more than likely wrong, so take all this with the smallest grain of salt possible, right? I don't even know how the saying is supposed to go, but yeah, thank you guys for watching this kind of rant on video. Hopefully it gives you some light to newer players that you may have never heard of, or also just made you think, hey, maybe this guy has a point. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching the video. Sorry for being so long, but yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.